we got to give an honorable mention to Ian for this next segment. The Guardian reports Kiev is furious as EU waivers on banning Russia from the SWIFT payment system. Now, before we get into everything, I just want to point this out. If you guys, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, World War III, it's clickbait, it's not going to happen. The SWIFT payment system, it's the international banking system, ACH payments, bank transfers. It's how trade is done. If Russia gets booted, because this is what's happening, Kiev is furious. They say, we want it to happen, but they're members of EU, like Germany. They're saying, we don't want to do it. Boris Johnson is saying, do it. Boot Russia from SWIFT. This would mean Russia can't use banks anymore outside of the country. It cuts them off financially. Do you think China says, sorry, Russia can't help you? Or do you think China says, we'll facilitate the trade for you? Do you think Russia says, oh no, I guess we've lost and now everything is done? Or do you think Russia says, you want a war, we'll give you one? Cutting them off from the financial system. Look, the only thing it will do is push Russia further away and give them less of a reason to actually negotiate on any of this stuff. And I see blue checks. I see high profile Democrat personalities and never Trump or neocon types being like, yeah, we should do this. Yeah, shut it down. And I'm like, okay, give Russia nothing left to lose. Do it. And then see how they respond.
Fortunately, I'm from the Washington Examiner 50 minutes ago. Biden declines to cut Russia from SWIFT payment system.
No, that's from today's sanctions. There's going to be a meeting, I believe, tomorrow. So Biden today said, we're only going to sanction some of their biggest banks. We are not going to be cutting them off from SWIFT. This does not mean they won't in the future.
That sounds like a baby step to me.
Right. Saying your 4 largest banks are being cut off. It's saying, be prepared. We're gonna shut down your entire financial system coming soon.
So crazy. And then you see him shutting off the bank accounts of the Canadian people. The Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, has shut off 3, according to Tulsi Gabbard, 3 of the largest television stations in prison. This is Western democracy doing these things, threatening to shut off economies.
Bro,
we're not the good guys.
No.
Maybe we're not the good guys.
War ain't no thing.
No, nobody's a good guy in war.
War is not a walk in the park. During World War II, we had an office of censorship. The U.S. had a department. I believe it was a department of censorship.
Loose lips sink ships.
Yeah, the Germans had the Minister of Propaganda, Goebbels.
Yo, we had internment camps for the Japanese in the United States. This idea
they don't teach that too often anymore. No, they browse right over that in U.S. History 1 and 2 in high school now. They don't
really, in internment camps.
Yeah,
not for me.
Now I mean, that
these days.
Yeah, I mean history class has gotten watered down tremendously since the time that we were in school.
We should know more about
and that's something that's really important because again, it's if we are going to be the country that says you are wrong, you can't do this. We need to start working on our BS too.
And like Tim was saying, in war, how things change. Maybe there was some value to interning the Japanese that may have been Japanese spies. Who knows? If we hadn't interned the Japanese, there would have been an overthrow.
That was the initial reasoning for it.
But it was like Japanese civilians, like expats, people that didn't deserve to be imprisoned were being interned.
Yeah, there's a lot of collateral damage when you do something as sweeping as that.
So you talk a lot, Ian, about the SWIFT payment system. Tell me your ideas on the SWIFT payment system.
It's like a global, I don't know who created it or where exactly. I imagine it has to do with the Bank of International Settlements in Switzerland, but it's like a company.
It actually goes through the Bank of Belgium.
Wild. Yeah. I think 11,000 banks.
All right.
11,000 banks, 200 countries around the world, and it moves through the Bank of Belgium.
The Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. SWIFT. It was founded in 1973, 48 years ago. La Hulpe, is that how you pronounce it? Belgium. It handles basically all. It says around half of all high-value cross-border payments worldwide use the SWIFT network.
Does it have any figure as to the dollar amount of the transactions that go through that type of?
It says 32.
I'm sure it's staggering.
32 million messages per day. So
it's a message, a transaction.
A transaction. I would imagine.
32 million. Okay, so that's. You're talking an unconceivable amount of money, probably.
Yep.
And it's probably dark money, too. I bet a lot of that's under the table. That's the problem with the Bank of International Settlements in Switzerland, where they kind of funnel money through, is there's no oversight, no governmental oversight in the world. It's a private company that's controlling this economy, basically, right now.
So I have a maybe you'll have some thoughts on this, right? So say we do kick them out, right? We kick them out of SWIFT. Where does the crypto market come into that?
Oh, baby.
They'll probably make like Bitcoin.
I bought Bitcoin today.
Yeah, they'll probably make it their national currency, a crypto. They'll probably create like one or use Bitcoin.
Or
that's an interesting what happens with the crypto market then when an entire country says, all right, you'll kick me off of your traditional standard transaction system. Well, we have crypto.
That's right. And you can't shut that down.
You can't.
Russia can just very easily say, we're going to now.
Unless you shut off their internet in the entire country, I guess would be the only.
That was the threat. The threat from
and
that
again, look how
article.
quickly that escalates.
You could
short of war.
replace the banking ledger with the crypto ledger. You could say, here's what we're going to do. I mean, I'm sure Russia's already working on it. Russia's bought up Bitcoin. They're probably saying, why should we rely on the centralized controlled payment system out of Western Europe? We can just use decentralized crypto to facilitate value exchanges and then have that be the basis for our monetary system in our own country.
And again, you have, talking from a crypto standpoint, and I have a very novice level of understanding of crypto, but okay, they say, okay, we're going to adopt crypto. And then what happens when the entire Russian economy switches to mining crypto? They have the space for it. They have the resources.
They could do it up in those really cold Siberian places where it keeps the GPUs cold enough.
We're in an interesting place in crypto where we're moving away from proof of work to create the crypto, and it's moving towards proof of stake. So like the people that are rich are going to get more rich, but the people that are creating it are not really going to be the ones that make money on it anymore. It's kind of lame that they're doing that, but it's like a rich man's game.
Well, it's what happens when government starts getting involved in these things. Crypto was, at least from my understanding, the separation between government oversight and regulation and money, and now we're watching governments adopt it.
When I saw,
we may provoke one of the world's largest countries to adopt it.
It may be inevitable, actually. I wonder if I was thinking of the bastion of freedom, United States, that's now invaded and enslaved Iraqis for 20 years. It would be the pressure that would push a country to develop some sort of more free, equitable currency.
When I saw the news about Ukraine saying we want them banned from SWIFT, Kiev saying we want them banned from SWIFT. When I saw Boris Johnson saying it, I immediately bought Bitcoin. Immediately. That's just me. I'm not giving anybody advice. I bought it. And then right after I did, I was in the dip because it dropped when the chaos happened and then spiked again. And I was in the dip and it spiked. And I was like, all right, that's good for me, I guess. But you know what I'm thinking? If they do ban, look, they're already sanctioning these banks. These banks can already circumvent that by using Bitcoin right now.
Yeah. So what does that sanction
Sanctions
even
are
mean?
meaningless. But if they kick them off SWIFT, I think Bitcoin through the roof. Because Russia's going to be like, buy it up.
And what does China do at that point?
Buy it up.
Oh yeah,
after they've already taken this hard stance against kind of crypto and
you can track people.
I guess they've taken a hard stance against people owning crypto, but I'm sure they have no problem buying it up themselves.
No, they do that as a game. They put out these bans so they can strike the price down because people panic, and then they can buy it back up. You know what might happen? I don't know if it will. We kick Russia off SWIFT. Russia says we're going to use Bitcoin to back our transactions and handle our international trade. China says, hey, Russia, we're in it with you. We want your help on Taiwan. Both Russia and China don't like the petrodollar anyway. They say, okay, you don't want to trade oil. You don't want us to get access to your markets. We're going to cut you off from our energy production, and we're going to buy in crypto or Bitcoin or other currencies. You can't do nothing about it at this point. It could precipitate the end of the U.S.
dollar.
Absolutely.
We're watching it slowly kind of like just decline at this point, but that would be an overnight just death to the dollar.
Not to mention gas prices already skyrocketing. What are they saying? $4 a gallon is coming.
Yeah.
Because now
we're getting close.
Now with the sanctions and the conflict, Russia is going to be pushing back, being like, "You don't get our oil. If we can't trade on your systems, we don't give you the oil. We're going to keep it for ourselves."
And I bet you Joe Biden doesn't even consider opening our national pipelines.
Oh no, he's shutting them down. There was recently there was news. I'll try and find it in a second. Recently issued a ban on producing natural gas in the United States. Another one.
Why?
I don't know, man.
The little Swedish girl.
Why?
Right, yeah.
No. Why
Seriously,
are they taking
green guilt? It's green guilt. It's
why
this
are they
hijacked
taking
idea.
CBP from our southern border to go to Poland? The policy is to gut this country, either because they're morons or they're laughing all the way down.
It's got to be.
I believe the latter.
Yes.
I really do.
Oh,
At this point, you
yeah.
can't be. You hear people all the time, oh, Joe Biden, he's so stupid. And, come on. I don't believe these people are that stupid. You don't get to that position in life being an idiot.
He's good at following orders, that's for sure.
Sure. But you can't be making this many mistakes. They've made too many mistakes at this point for it to be stupidity.
Yeah, I think
you're gutting this country from the inside.
I think corporations, including the federal, were you gonna
Just take it one issue at a time. Look at the southern border and work your way up from there. What comes across the southern border? Illegals. People, nobody vetted. Fentanyl, the number one killer of the ages between 18 and 35 right now is fentanyl. Where does that come from? It comes from China. Yep. Look at our supply chain. Look at our energy production. Look at the value of our dollar. All of these things are moving in the wrong direction, and they are all the result of policy created by our own government. None of these things are happening to us because of outside influence.
I wonder if...
Yeah, sure, China is shipping drugs, but we have a responsibility to protect our own border. We're not doing any of these things, and all of the problems that we're facing today as a society, as an American society, are self-inflicted by our own government. Moving border agents to Poland when we have a clear crisis at the border is about the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.